Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Manna from God. I am back with the 30-day journey to a better life. We're on key number 4 today, getting rid of baggages. So today we're going to talk about that subject, getting rid of baggages. Oftentimes we carry loads and carry things that hinder us from processing or moving forward in life. So we're going to learn today how to allow ourselves to get rid of the baggages that we carry that are unnecessary in our lives. So let's get started today. And we're going to go to, I'm still learning StreamYard, but we're going to get this together in a little bit. But we just want to talk about today getting rid of our baggages. And getting rid of baggages, and we're coming from the scripture Hebrew 12 and 1 that says, Wherefore, seeing we are also Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with great clouds of witnesses. Let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doeth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. God really does not want us to be bogged down with cares of this world. And that's why it's so important that we get rid of the baggages that we have that is hindering us from moving forward. The scripture tells us to lay aside every weight, not just some weights. Weight and sin are two different things. Some things are sin in our life, and we know that those are things that disconnect or keep us from progressing in God. But then there's some things in our life that are weights that keeps us from processing and progressing in our life. So it says, lay down every weight and sin that so easily entangles us, that causes us to be entangled by the things that we're all wrapped up in, that we can't see forward because of the things that we're tied up in. So let us look to Jesus, who is the author, he's the beginning of our life, and he also is the finisher of our faith. So we need to give those baggages over to the Lord so that he would be able to help us, to give us the tools we need to allow us to get rid of those baggage that we are hanging on to that is not good for us. When there has been pain or hurt or grief or anger and sadness in the past, it can oftentimes develop into emotional baggages and can have a great impact on our present life and also on the future that we want for ourselves. And then one thing we need to do is evaluate. We're going to be learning in this lesson how to evaluate our past. We need to be curious of the things that have caused us to be in a place that we are in today. And also, we need to ask ourselves, how can I do or resolve the past that is hindering my future? We would need some time to revisit the pain. So we're going to look back and we're going to revisit that pain, not to settle in it, but to identify if there's a resolution. And oftentimes we need to first forgive. When we look back in our past, forgive yourself first, or forgive ourselves. We hold on to the pain. We cause ourselves to be grieved and perplexed by it because we won't forgive ourselves and also forgive the one that might have caused the pain. And then we need to learn to let it go. So and that's not an easy thing to do. It's not very easy to do, and it would take prayer. And I am an advocate of seeking professional help, not someone that's just going to give you a bunch of scriptures, but that's also going to give you some tools on how to get rid of those pains that are holding you back in life. So I am an advocate for a professional counselor that can help you to better your life. So again, we are talking about the 30-day journey to a better life. better life. We're on day 4, and we're going to learn today how to get rid of the baggages that we hold. And our key scripture, if you want to read that passage, is Hebrew 12:1. The journey is not easier when we're not. The journey is a lot easier when we're not carrying our past. So, in order for us to run the race called life, we have to let things go, and which is not easy. But hopefully, in this lesson, we're going to learn some things or tools that would help us to let it go, because holding on to those pains of our past, it do hinder us from having a progressive lifestyle, or to move forward in life. So we're going to go to the next. Okay, we're going to pause that there. And in this, we got to go back a little bit here. We're going to figure this out in a minute. Okay, so we're going to pause it there. So we often, I want to re-record this, because I know me as being a perfectionist. I will record it 1,000 times before I actually put it out. So I'm trying to break that habit, which is one of my baggages. Break the habit of always trying to be too professional that I don't get anything done. So bear with me, please. So those are one of my things that I go through in life, is being that misperfectionist. I think I got it. Okay, so oftentimes we move from pain to pain, relationships to relationship, hiding our pain behind a fake smile. And we expect that the new relationship that we get in, that it's going to help us forget. And unfortunately, it doesn't work. I wish it could, but we see a lot of people jumping from relationships to relationship because they think that that next relationship is going to heal the pain from the prior relationship, and that don't work. You have to deal with that pain. You have to figure out what is that caused it, and then work towards helping yourself, allowing yourself to get rid of that pain that's in your life, to have a successful and happy relationship, and move past our pain and grief and disappointment. We got to face our past. We have to face our past. There's no getting around it. There's no going on. I'm just going to let it. I'm just going to forget it. No, you don't forget it, because it comes back in the worst time. And when you're facing an argument, all of a sudden you dig up something from the past that you never got healed from. But we want to deal with those things so that we can have a successful relationship, that we can have friendship, and that we can move forward in life. So in order to allow the grief and the disappointment, we got to face our past head on to regain our life back and to move forward. Let's go to the next slide. So in order, sometime growing up we were taught not to we weren't taught the skills to cope with painful situations. We were often told, just get over it, or hush and sweep it under the carpet so that no one else can find out what you're going through. And I'll ask the question today is, how did that work out? A lot of us are suffering from emotional traumas that we just try to hide and place under the carpet, only to see that the pile is getting larger under the carpet, and that someday that we're going to have to pull that carpet back and deal with the pain. So leaving the pain When we do that and try to push it under or sweep it under the carpet, we're leaving the pain to be a cancer that is slowly destroying you and your relationships over time. So it leaves us feeling helpless and sometimes mentally detached from life. We totally give up. We go through life with a fake smile, and we greet people, but when behind closed doors we're sad, we are perplexed, we discouraged, we don't have any motivation because we hold on to that baggage, because instead of dealing with, we try to sweep it under the carpet. But I promise you, one of these days you're going to have to pull that carpet back, and you're going to have to allow yourself to deal with that pain so that you can move forward. That's only if you want to be healed. Some people, they like the solitude of being in their depressed state, and no matter how much you try to encourage them, they always tend to fall back because at some point in their life it became more comfortable to sit in that pain and grief than to deal with it, because dealing with it is going to take work. It's going to take you digging into yourself and seeing what is it that is causing me to keep falling back into this situation that I know is not good for me. And you want a better life, so you have to end up dealing with that pain. Pull the carpet back. That's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to pull that carpet back. We're going to look at that pain that we have been trying to hide for years, so that one day we wake up and our smiles won't be fake, but they are real, and that we actually have the joy of the Lord in our lives, that we can continue on and and be productive and be successful at what God has intended us. Because we learned in the prior lesson that God want us to be successful. So the next slide we're going to be about, so this particular slide, I have to go back here, having problems today. I think that when I was getting it together, I put it in video instead of presentation format. So now I'm a little suffering with it. And again, I said I'm not going to do it, because not going to redo it, only because I know how I am, and I will keep recording it until. So here we go. So this is our next slide. So we believe that we don't deserve good things sometimes. Sometimes when we've been down for so long, we don't believe that happiness is yours, or happiness is mine, or that we deserve good things in life, because we were told from other people, or not just other people, even ourselves, that we are that once we become emotional detached, that we don't deserve anything better than what we already have. So let's not listen to what others have to say, and don't even listen to the negative thoughts that run through your mind that you don't deserve better. I have a God that says I can have all things through Christ who strengthens me, and I can do all things through Christ. And in order to do that, I have to be able to open my mind up to new things. And this causes us that when we hold on to that thought that we don't deserve good things, this causes us to sabotage the good things in our life. So when good things do happen, we can't receive it because we don't think we deserve it. And in the actuality, we deserve anything or everything that God allow us to have that is beneficial to our lives. We lose our confidence and in ourselves, and so we give up. And the saddest thing to do is see someone that has given up on life. We see those that are homeless people that have given up. They just rather not try anymore. They rather not get up and do the things that they had dreamed as a child that they wanted to do, because of the disappointments and the things that they have faced in life. And even so, you might not even be homeless. You might live in a mansion. You might live in a nice home, beautiful family. But in the inside, you're suffering with that your confidence because you've lost it, and and so you've given up, even though people think that they look at you and they think that you have everything going for you. But in the inside, we look at a lot of inside the suffering that's going on. We look at a lot of the movie stars that we have seen that have committed suicide, and one that come to mind is Robin Williams. How you think that uh, I remember him as a young girl watching Mork and Mindy, and not knowing that he would have taken his life. But and we just want to just just think about or think about that we don't want to get to that state in our lives that we want to just totally give up and leave this earth, but that we want to fight for our life, that we want to be successful in life. Now, success is not, when we look at people and we think about success as having a whole bunch of stuff, but success is peace of mind. People can have a whole lot of stuff and no peace of mind. But when you got peace of mind, oh my God, you have everything you need. Everything you need, and all that other stuff, the little added things that can come your way, those are just added things. But to have peace in your mind, that's the greatest success that anyone can possess. To our next year, we with it. So our next slide here, don't continue to focus on things that have hurt us. See how you look at this picture and it shows how people are tied together. And you can take it in a positive way or negative way, but to be tied down and hurt and you just stuck. Yeah, that picture, when I look at it, it looks as if you stuck to someone that you can't be released from. Now you could look at say, well, I'm in love. I don't want to be loose, but not that type of love where you have to be chained together. So don't continue to focus on things that have hurt you. We rob ourselves of a true happiness when we keep focusing on those things that hurt us. Now I do say that in your healing process, you have to go back in order to move forward. You got to deal with your past in order to move forward. So remember, freedom from emotional baggage is in your hand. You got to want it. No one can make you want to release that baggage. You have to come to the conclusion after you have evaluated your life and see that you're not getting anywhere in life, that you want to get rid of all of those baggages, emotional baggages that are holding you back. You are in control, and God can give you the strength to obtain victory. You put getting rid of those back and putting it in God's hand. He's going to give you the victory that one day when you look back, you're going to say, God brought me through that. We have a choice if we are going to let people or events in our life define our future, whether it's bad or good. We have to and we have to let make a choice if we're going to let those things define our future. So seeking God and a professional counselor, you're going to hear me say that throughout this lesson. Seeking God added with a professional counselor will give us the tools we need to release ourselves from the negative experiences that we have and didn't have the tools to know how to deal with those pains. I said a lot to learn and deal with. And the only way that we can deal with it is we have to be honest with ourselves that that also need professional help to be able to. Some of the things that we've gone through was devastating in our life. We need that extra help to be able to manage those things that we have to face. So letting go of emotional baggages. Number one, we have to determine what is causing the pain. What is causing the pain? In other words, the source can be abandonment. It could be dysfunctional family issues, things that our family, we call it generational curses, or alcohol, drug abuse, SA, all type of abuses that we have gone through and have swept it under the carpet, or have silenced it, that we not talk about it because it might have been a relative or a friend of the family that done those things to you. So they said, just so that the other person don't get in trouble, but they don't realize the pain that they caused you. And then it could be relationship with your partner, with your significant other. Those are things that causes us those emotional pains. And also those are things that we have to let go of, so that we can find our peace, find our source of happiness. So once you understand the source of the pain, you can move to the next step in your healing. Oftentimes we want to skip over that because we don't want to, the first step, because we don't want to deal with the pain of going back and digging into those things that caused us the pain. But until we go back, deal with the issues, we can't move forward. So that is a necessary progress process that we have to do. Deal with it, go back, deal with it. We have to dig it up and then deal with it so that we can go to the next step. When I saw this, it took my mind through a lot of things, even the things that I have faced in life, going through a divorce and not ready to allow that individual to leave, even though they wanted to go. And 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 sometimes we need to, because when we first start going through the pain of a person leaving out of your life, we don't want to let it go, because that's what we've been, even though it wasn't a happy situation, it's just that we're familiar with that pain. And so it's easier to hold on to it than to allow that person to go, and not only to allow them to go, but to find their own happiness. Why stay in sometimes we just need to just let it go and stop trying to hold on to someone that don't want you. And we'll do that, especially as women. We'll do that. They don't want us, but we'll try to hold on to it, onto them. But we just need to let them go, find their happiness, and you find your happiness, because you know what? You deserve it. They deserve their happiness, and you deserve your happiness. And so sometimes it's not with you. So we need to let them go. And we both find our place of happiness on this earth and our place of peace, so that we all can have that harmony, that we'll be able to move forward in life. So let them go. Don't hold on to them. Sometimes I think there's a saying that sometimes people are just in your life for a season. And also I noticed that when I finally released that person, they were gone, but in my mind they were still there. When I finally mentally released them, I was able to open up to new relationships, new friendships. I learned new things that I'd never known before, but that wouldn't have never happened if I sat in my pain and said, and just cried and cried and cried, and never let that pain go in order to move forward. So we have to let our baggage go. Fear that if you how to let the fear, the baggages, how to let the baggages go. Number one, the fear that you will fail. Sometimes we fear that we will fail. Sometimes we are people pleasers. We want people pleasing. In other words, we just try to keep pleasing people even though we're hurting. And we sometimes we let them emotionally abuse us because we want them to be pleased with us. But we got to let people go and stop trying to be people please. That's one of the worst things I think that we could do to ourselves, trying to please people and not realizing that you can't please people all the time. And I believe I said that in a lesson before, that you could be they could be praising you one day, and like they did Jesus, cry, crucify you the next day. So why even waste your time pleasing people when the ultimate thing is, I want to please God. And I know that even if I make a mistake, He's still going to love me even in my mistake. And He's going to help me that in my mistake to show me how not to do it again. And that's why I rather please Him. So uh, don't hold on to those baggage. Don't hold on to the fear that you will fail. Life is full of failures, but the key about failure is when you fail, that you get back up. You don't allow those failures to hold you down. But I think there was one thing they say is you use it as a stepping stool to your next level. So don't let fear of failure keep you from moving forward. And then some of us, we don't like change. We would sit in our pain. We would sit in our hurt. We would sit in those dysfunctions because we don't want to change. And change is inevitable. No matter how much we don't want to change, believe it or not, the world and everything around you, including yourself, is changing. And then fear that you don't deserve the best. I had that mentality at one time, that maybe I don't deserve the best. Maybe everybody else is supposed to be happy and not my I don't supposed to be happy. Maybe everyone else supposed to have a good relationship, but not me. I don't supposed to have it. But that's that pity talking as well. And one thing we have to know, we have to not allow pity to get in our mind and get in our words, because our words shape our lives. But we have to begin to talk and begin to tell ourselves, I deserve better, and I'm going to get better. And I'm not going to accept less than the best. I'm not going to accept nothing but the best. And we have to get that in our mind, that that's what we're going to do. Allow ourselves to have the best. Slide is saying that emotional baggage is a trap which makes life hard. Free yourself to live. Emotional baggage is a trap. It's a trap to hold you back in life. It's a trap not to allow you to find what your potential is in life and what that God-given gift God has given you. So emotional baggage is that trap which make life hard. And you think, well, my life is so hard. What is that thing in your life that you're holding on to that you need to release? Free yourself to live. How do I leave my emotional baggage behind? Number one, identify your feelings. Stop trying to hide how you feel. Deal with that. Someone hurt you, let them know that hurt. And if they say, oh, you just childish, no, that hurt. Words do hurt. That hurt. Deal with it. Even if you say something negative to yourself or Diane, you hurt yourself. Deal with that. Why did I allow that negative word to come out of my mouth towards myself? Stop uh, uh, pushing them aside. Stop pushing those feelings you have aside. Deal with it, only for them to resurface in tears, sadness, depression, and then you end up lashing out on that person that you love because you're not willing to deal with those feelings. And what you do, you bottle them up until it comes to a boiling point and it explodes, and you hurt everyone in your life that loves you because you don't know how to deal with those. You got to deal with those feelings. You have to deal with it. You have to process it. You have to accept your emotions. That's number two. Process it and accept your emotions. Why am I feeling like this today? What is going on? If you wake up and you're in a negative attitude, ask yourself, okay, why am I feeling like this today? Okay, let's adjust this. Let's deal with this now so that it don't ruin my day, or I can end up causing someone else's day to be bad because I woke up on the wrong side of bed, because I didn't want to deal with why I was feeling like I was feeling. And number three, allow Jesus, who is the ultimate healer, allow Jesus to help you release your pain. Allow the Lord to help you to release your pain. We need somewhere that we can go and in our quiet time, our time of time that we spend with God, that we know go to Him. He tell us to bring our burdens to Him. He said, and then not only take them to Him, but leave them. Oftentimes we take the burdens to the Lord, and we get through crying out and telling Him to help us to deal with it. We pick it right back up and walk right back out the door with it. But we have to deal with it. We have to process it, accept it, and then give it to the Lord and allow Him to deal with the pain. So don't allow your past to dictate your future. Give yourself permission to have a good life. Give yourself permission to be in a good relationship. Just because the last one didn't work out, don't mean that the next one will not work out. But you have to give yourself permission. Sometimes we block our own selves from not allowing ourselves to have that good relationship, because we are so fearful of what happened in the prior relationship. And that's one thing that I have to work on, getting rid of that fear of failure of the next relationship. And just because the statistics say that sometimes, most of the time, the second one don't work, it don't mean that all the time it don't work. And statistics, you have to see where they got their information from. So we have to learn to give ourselves permission to have a good life. And if you want another relationship, that you open that door for love. Don't shut it down. Don't have that person got to pry with it open when you just open the door. Yes, life is full of hurts, but it's not. Uh, Life shouldn't cause us to hurt so much that we shut down everything because of the things that we've gone through. But give yourself permission to have a good life. And the key word is because you deserve it. The slide skipped here, so we're going to go back a little bit. We're almost there. So letting go of baggages you can obtain peace, you can find love, and you can find happiness. And those are things that comes with releasing those baggages, getting rid of all those negative things in your life that's holding you back. And it's okay. You know, I think of the word no, and we think it's such a negative thing, but sometimes we have to say no to people. No, you got to give an explanation. No, I'm not going to do that because it's not feasible for me right now. And you can just leave it at that. You don't always have to give an explanation. Sometimes it's just flat no. And even though that, woo, that was hard. No, if you have a you can't keep taking loads upon yourself that and keep on uh bogging yourself with things on top of to try to mask the pain, so you'll say yes to everything, but knowing in the inside you really wanted to say no, but you did it because what, you're people pleasing. It wasn't something that gave you satisfaction, and it wasn't something that helped you, or and not that we don't want to help others, but sometimes people can be a little overbearing. And when you're going through some things in your life, you have to set that time for yourself, and sometimes you just have to tell others, I need a moment. And if you can find someone else to help you with this project, right now I'm facing something and I don't have the energy to put into that project. You can one day you can find yourself laughing again, and you can find love again, and Jesus has given it's when he has given you the freedom, the power to obtain your freedom. One scripture in Philippians 4:13, which I like, says, stand up today. And I want you to stand up and declare, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. It didn't say some things, but through Christ, with the help of Christ, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. And we can have that happiness that we so much deserve, and that God says that we have. And when I look at these couples and I see the happiness in their faces, and that we can, and if you don't have that, you can have that as well. How many of us walk around being weighed down by the baggages of our journey? You can't possibly embrace that new relationship, that new companion, that new career, that new friendship, or that new if you life you want, while you're still holding on to the baggage of the last one. So you can't have those things if you won't give up that prior one that's been holding you back. So let go and allow yourself to embrace what is waiting for you right at your feet. And that was a quote from Dr. Stephen Maboli. So you can have those things, but you can't have them unless you're willing to let go of those baggages, emotional baggages that's weighing you down. You can't possibly have that new companion, that new relationship, that new career, that new friendship, or even that new life holding on to old baggages. I tell you today, stand up and declare, I'm going to let it go. So uh, that I say today that if you want to have a good life, if you want to get the things that you so deserve in your life, and you do deserve them, let it go. Don't hold on to those baggages anymore. Matter of fact, take them all the way out of your house, dump them in a dumpster, and say, no more. No more will you hold me back. No more will you cause me to feel that I don't deserve those things, that peace, that joy, that happiness. To be able to laugh, and it's not a fake laugh, but that it's a real laugh. To be able to travel, and to have a relationship that is blessed and highly favored by God. To be able to progress in life. You can have those things. We can have those things. But we got to be willing to let go of the baggages. So that was key number 4. Thank you for tuning in to Manna from God. I do apologize for the technical difficulties. Hopefully, we will be doing better each one. And I want you to have a good day. Please take time to like and subscribe. Don't look at the errors of the things the technical things that we had going on today. But like I said, with time, I'm going to get better and better, and I'm going to hold on to these mistakes that I've been having with these with StreamYard. And it's not StreamYard, it's me learning the technique. But We're going to get better as we move forward. And I do encourage you to like and subscribe. And we're going to grow together in this 30-day journey. So, day 4, I hope that you got something out of the message and out of the motivational word today. Be encouraged, live, laugh, and do something that you do enjoy. Bye for now.